What is your name?
Kamala Khan.
5 years ago, A-Day changed.
I was just some weird kid from Jersey who didn't fit in. I kind of stole something off of AIM's server.
Huh? What? Why? Why?
AIM calls people like me inhuman. He claims we're sick, violent. He says our disease will kill us in the end. Well, I don't believe it. What if the Avengers were set up? AIM, the so-called cure, it's just not lining up. There's something wrong and I can feel it. Don't you?
The kid is inhuman. We did this, and she needs your help. I can't.
You can't what? You're ditching me?
Hey, don't take it personally, kid. No, this is what he does.
This was a mistake.
So you're both just gonna walk away? The Avengers were set up. Cap was murdered.
Think I don't know that? I've replayed that day in my head 1,000 times. Guess what? No one cares. The world needed someone to blame, and he gave them their scapegoat. So, unless you have some kind of astounding proof, I suggest you both get off my land. What is that?
Proof.
I think it's absolutely insane that Kamala is actually going to be in one of the biggest Marvel games that we've done.
She's a very recent addition to the Marvel Universe. She was only invented, gosh, about 6 years ago. But even though she's very new, she's very classic.
She is a young hero from Jersey City, and she has something called polymorph powers, which means she can contort her body in different ways, and she can get really big and really small.
We spent countless hours on the story, on the choice of character, how we would portray her.
I loved working with Shauna Skye and the rest of the creative team at Crystal Dynamics to sit down with Sean and talk about the characters and how he saw them.
To stay true to her, we spent a lot of time in the comics and then also tapping into our version of her.
The biggest difference between our game and the Kamala people have met in the comics, she gains her powers on A-Day.
She is essentially just a little fangirl, right? She's a nerd. She loves the Marvel Universe. She lives in the Marvel Universe.
Her fan fiction comic is selected for the Avengers celebrations.
The Avengers are unveiling this experimental technology, and something pretty crazy happens with it.
She's exposed to terrigen gas and is now labeled what is called an inhuman.
She's got superpowers that she doesn't know what to do with in a world that hates superheroes.
She suspects that the Avengers were set up in A-Day. The role that Kamala plays is a unifier. She's really someone who is going to bring the Avengers back together.
Casting Kamala was a difficult process. We spent a lot of time looking for Sandra, and she did an impeccable job bringing her to life.
Oh my gosh. When I found out I was going to play the role of Kamala Khan, I was like, are you kidding? I'm an Avenger?
She's a lot like the character in many ways, so there's instant relatability.
She is a first-generation American like me. She's a young woman of color who has trouble fitting in, like I do. And I feel like she has all these personal struggles that everyone can relate to.
In the cast of seasoned actors, she is the new one. In some sense, that forced structure between the seasoned actors and the new actor is sort of like the actual Kamala Khan relationship to her world and to her environment.
We wanted to really focus on her gameplay and her style of moves reflecting her development as a character. So you might notice that there's at least one or two attacks that she sort of like made her own from the other Avengers and sort of integrated into her moveset. One of the most iconic things about Kamala is her ability to embiggen. And we actually realize this in a bunch of different ways. She's able to like lengthen her attacks, she's able to avoid attacks while she's sort of mini embiggened. And then we also have the ultra embiggen state where she gets giant size, and at this point she's able to send enemies flying. We actually built an entirely new reaction set for the enemies to like really deliver on the feel of being, 3 times, 4 times the size of the enemies you're sort of kicking around.
Putting together movement style for Kamala is just all in the imagination, I feel. Because at the end of the day, it's you who's standing there in this mocap space, imagining that your arm, Sandra's arm, is stretching out to the end of the room to grab somebody. It's just fun. I hope the fans notice those little details, and I hope the fans see how hard every single person worked, and I hope the fans love the story as much as I do.
When it comes to a new perspective on the Avengers, seeing them from a fangirl of someone who has always wanted to meet them, who's wanted to be one, we feel like players can really connect with that.
Marvel has considered her an important enough character to be on the League of the Avengers.
She's got superhero powers unlike any other Avenger. She's not laying down for no one, and I think those qualities, they cross boundaries, people can relate to it. She's rebellious, they want to be her, I want to be her.
The fact that she's the entry point character in this game makes so much sense because she really is the everyman. Like, people from all backgrounds and experiences can relate to her and have related to her since her inception. So it makes perfect sense for her to be bringing you into the Marvel Avengers game experience.